Welcome back. This is Maurice Dimba, and let's continue with the RCC building, modeling, and rebar detailing. And let's first of all pick and maybe confirm where we left. And if you take a look on the screen here, you can see the still, you can see from far, you can see some variance in height in these columns. So let me just double click on the grid line here and enable the zero level and click apply and give it an OK. You can see everything starts at zero. Everything started zero going at the bottom end by 1.2. So if I double click on this far end column, you can see this is 3.2, and underneath zero, you can see it is 1.2. So let me just go to another column and confirm whether that same setting applies on the next column. So if I double click in here, you can see the variance. This is 5, and we don't have that underneath from 0 by 1.2. So we want to change everything here to match the previous settings that we had defined. So I'm going to press Control All here, because remember one thing with COMOSYS, you only select what is visible on the screen. You can see here. So if I deselect that and zoom closer and maybe press Control All, everything or Control will not cover everything. Will only cover what is visible within this window. So if I zoom out and go ahead and Control All, everything will be selected. So I'll enter on my screen here on the keyboard and pick Profile here. So under Profile, I'll be able to pick on the columns and go ahead and click Close. So I've picked on the columns here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to isolate this out because this has exact measurements of our preference. So I'm going to press Control and remove it out of selection. So the ones I want to modify are the ones I've selected here because they've gone further beyond the settings that we had defined before. So I'm going to click or type Enter on my keyboard right here to bring the dialog box where I'll be able to modify multiple profile objects here. So I'll come straight here and key in 3.2, and underneath zero level, I'll key in 1.2, right, like that. So I'll go ahead and click Apply and give it an OK there, and go ahead and click OK. So you can see it has gone underneath, assuming that the bottom end grid line is the zero level. So it is the reason why it has gone below it. The same thing we can do, we can just right click and come to move. We'll pick on the move and just snap at the bottom end here. With the moment you see a red snapping point, just snap on that spot and move at the top end intersection here between the grids and place it right there. So everything will match the same height here all over. So if I double click in here, you'll be able to see it is 3.2. If I double click in here, is 3.2, and underneath below zero or below zero is 1.2. So that's how you can work around your modification. So the next step you're going to do, we want to place our tie beams. So I'm going to pick on the tie beam right there. And prior to invoking that command, I'll just right click first of all to access the setting dialog box. So under setting dialog box, this is what we have. We can define the width and the depth of our tie beam or plinth beam, whichever name we can give it, but let's give it a tie beam. Now, if I come to macro presets, I had defined some settings here because I don't want to waste a lot of time. I'll just load that, give it apply, and give it an OK right there. So if I come here and pick on this basis, I'll be able to get my tie beam right there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to apply the same all over. Just apply there and select that and select this, and I'll select that base or pad and select on that and that. So I'll be able to create that all over. So you just select that and select this and that, this and that, and that and this, and this one. Let me just go back and redo that. Select this and that one, and I'll join this and this, and I'll join this and that, and I'll complete that with that. So I'll go ahead and finalize with that and go ahead and complete further with that. Right click and terminate that command. So this is how it looks if you place our tie beams connecting all the pad footing or the column bases, this is how it looks. So I'll press Control, or just to turn it round. You don't need to press Control, just turn it around by clicking your right button on the mouse, hold and move your mouse like that. So this is how you can create that. Now we've placed our tie beam in place. The next thing we're going to place is the plinth beam on the 0 level. So I'll come to 0 level here, and prior to that, let me come to beams first of all. So I press Shift on my keyboard and left click on beam here. So this pressing Shift and click on the beam will give you access to the dialog box or the setting dialog box for this particular member or beam. So I'll give it 250 here. I'll give it 250, the width I'll give it 250 right there, and this one can give it 200 or 400 like that. Or I can just give it 250 or 350 right there. Let me just turn it around and give it 350 right there. So the rest you can leave as it is and go ahead and click Set as Default. Set as Default means anytime you will be creating a beam, these settings will be retained and will be applied all through when we're creating a beam, concrete beam. So I'll just go ahead and click Set as the default and click Apply and give it an OK. So if I come to 0 level here, I want to place my plinth beams at 0 level and create one there, and just snap on that spot and create one there. So you can see my settings have been retained. So I'll select on that, just mouse on that intersection and create one here. So I'll just move like this to create other beams like that and snap on that spot. The moment you see the red snap means you're in the accurate intersection point. So let me snap on that spot and connect this and that. Come there and connect that and that. And I'll come here and snap on that spot and go all the way to that spot. Snap on that spot and go all the way to that spot. And I'll snap on that spot once again and move all the way to that far end. And I'll repeat the same thing and come all the way to this end. So if I zoom out and closer, I'll snap on that spot and come here also and snap on the same spot and terminate it right there. So let's look where we've not achieved or created a plinth beam at 0 level. So this is how it looks. So let's meet on the next presentation on how we will be adding more members on this particular simple structure. So this is Morris Rebar. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and let's meet on the next presentation, and bye-bye. I think you've seen how we can define, number one, customize the beam, modify further the column bases and the columns height in concrete section, and how you can modify that in the easiest way. Thanks, and don't forget to subscribe, and bye bye. Let's meet then.